Tonight, my dear friends, India marks the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement of 1942. Today, politicians across the spectrum joined the Quit India bandwagon to remember the anniversary. Prime Minister Narendra Modi put out big advertisements in the newspapers, also asked people to take a pledge to free the country of problems like communalism, casteism and corruption. Create a new India by 2022. The Congress launched an offensive against the Sangh Parivar with Sonia Gandhi attacking the RSS in Parliament, claiming that the RSS had opposed the freedom fight. And Mamata Banerjee in Bengal launched what she said was a Quit BJP from India movement. And other leaders, including the Samajwadi Party, held their own programs and launched anti-BJP campaigns on this day. Let's go straight though to what happened in Parliament. Sonia Gandhi versus Narendra Modi. You saw that battle, and we'll have more excerpts of the Modi versus Sonia battle over Quit India 1942. I want to raise some big questions tonight on this 75th anniversary of the Quit India. Does the Quit India movement belong only to the Congress party? Can the Congress claim to be the same pre-independence party of 1942? Is the RSS trying to rewrite history to take the Quit India credit? Are the RSS and the Congress guilty of politicizing the Quit India anniversary? Was it wrong of Prime Minister Modi today to completely ignore Jawaharlal Nehru in his speech? Did the RSS simply play no role in the Quit India movement? Joining me now is Sudhindra Kulkarni. He's been a former BJP National Executive member. He's now a columnist and someone who's tracked the issue. Rakesh Sinha, RSS ideologue, and Mridula Mukherjee, nationalist historian, are all joining me on the show tonight. Let me get it clear from each of you where you stand on that central question first. Is 1942 the monopoly of the Congress party? Does it belong to the people of India? And has the RSS any role? Mridula Mukherjee, is Sonia Gandhi right when she says in Parliament today that the RSS had no role to play and this was a movement which was of the Congress party alone?
It was a movement of the entire Indian people, and its legacy belongs to the entire Indian people. Everybody has a right to claim that legacy. However, you can only claim that legacy if you actually adhere to the principles and the ideals that that movement had. The issue is complicated. The question you asked, did the RSS play a role in this movement? Officially, no. Neither the Hindu Mahasabha nor the RSS played a role in the Quit India movement. In fact, the Hindu Mahasabha had offered cooperation to the British. They had asked their members to join the army, to continue in municipalities and elected positions. The RSS too had given orders, and these are from government files. One can quote letter and verse to show that RSS gave orders to its cadre to stay away from the Quit India movement. Individual RSS members, however, may well have participated at different local places, because not all cadre always obey the instructions of the leaders, just as the left, the CPI, had stood away from the movement as well for its own reasons.
Right.
That it did not want to hamper the war effort in which the Soviet Union was on the side of the Allies. And yet, many young people who were inspired by Quit India did not adhere to the orders of the top leaders. But that does not mean that we can say today that the CPI participated in the Quit India movement in the same manner. The issue, however, I think today is, everybody, as I said, has a right to claim it. But even if we claim it, at least we should openly say, yes, we had political reasons at that time for not being part of this movement, but we adhere to the ideals of this movement and we want to claim it today. We can't do it on the basis of trying to rewrite a history and create a history which was not there.
Are you trying to create a history that was not there, Rakesh Sinha? Now the BJP is in power and therefore you are trying to create a history that was not there. You wrote today in the Times of India, in August 1942 in Chimur and Ashti, RSS cadre dominated Congress processions, attacked police stations. Those hanged and awarded life imprisonment were mostly RSS volunteers. Now the records in the past have suggested that Golwalkar, the guru of Narendra Modi, then the RSS chief, refused to join the Quit India movement, and that no RSS leaders were formally arrested, unlike the Congress leaders. How do you respond to what Mridula Mukherjee is saying, that you were trying to rewrite history today?
As far as Quit India movement is concerned, it was a movement in 1942. Now Quit India is an idea now. So all Indians, or 125 crore Indians, can share the idea of Quit India, except Indian communists. They were with the Britishers during the Quit India movement. They were active partner of the imperialist force. They were opposed to Subhash Chandra Bose. They even abused Subhash Chandra Bose as a dog of Tojo. So I don't want to go in the details, but as far as RSS is concerned, you know, the history of India has been written with the English newspapers, Hindi newspapers, vernacular press. In Indian languages, press were ignored. And whatever I wrote in Times of India and whatever is coming in my book is based on the primary sources. I am giving two examples. Indian historians have described the role of RSS in the mirror of Hindu Mahasabha. RSS and Hindu Mahasabha were two different organizations. They have their commonality on the question of Hindutva, but as far as programs during the freedom movement was concerned, RSS had its own program, its own leadership. Neither Syama Prasad Mukherjee nor B.D. Savarkar were RSS leaders. Neither Munje nor...
was your leader, Golwalkar was your leader, he refused to join the Quit India movement. Let's be clear, there is enough primary evidence also to that effect that Golwalkar was very clear, he believed, for his own reasons, that the Quit India movement was a bad idea at the time and chose not to join it, or at least formally chose not to join it. That's the truth also. You can't run away from that truth. Can you, Rakesh Sinha?
Rajdeep, I can't rewrite the archival sources. I am quoting the archival sources. I am giving one important quote. In 1939, Britishers were deliberating to ban RSS. There was a clear reason. Kindly understand the reason. Britishers wanted the people to be recruited in the ARP, Home Guards, Civic Guards, and the army. Whether Hindu Mahasabha was actively working for that, Communist Party were actively working for that, RSS refused. RSS had 1 lakh volunteers, and refusal of the RSS led them to have an ordinance in 1940 which was banning the RSS drill. When RSS violated, then they banned the RSS camps. And I quoted one GM Trivedi, he said that this ordinance is going to hit RSS maximum. His camps were raided, the organizers were arrested. I mean, you know, RSS, even today, you don't know the more than 3 leaders of the RSS. If I would ask you to kindly give me the names of 10 RSS leaders, now the RSS in discourse, that's why you know. Otherwise, people were knowing the RSS Sarsang Chalak and the person who was handling the BJP. Otherwise, you are not knowing the RSS leader. In 1940, there were 2 and 3 important RSS leaders. All others were the grassroots activists. I am quoting Chimur and Asti.
Did the grassroots...
At least 6 RSS workers were hanged.
Okay, so you're saying... Can I just take that?
And I'm
you made your point. You made your point. I just want to take this to Sudhindra. No, 1 minute. 1 minute, sir.
Let me come.
No, 1 minute. Let me take that to Sudhindra Kulkarni, because I've got your point. You are claiming that RSS individual workers and cadres, certainly you believe, supported the Quit India movement, were jailed, were hanged. But you today, Sudhindra Kulkarni, have also written an article where you seem to suggest that no RSS person was arrested and the RSS consciously stayed away from the Quit India movement. So where does the truth lie?
What we should be discussing today is not whether the RSS participated or not in the Quit India movement. That of course is important, but that's not so important. What is the contemporary relevance of the 75th anniversary of Quit India movement? You know, if you look back at India's freedom struggle, the first major starting point of a nationwide struggle was 1857, the War of Independence. 1942, August 9, when Mahatma Gandhi gave the call of Quit India, marks the final push for India's freedom, a successful push. What was common to both? What was common to both is very strong Hindu-Muslim unity. 1857 as well as 1942. In fact, the very slogan Quit India was coined by Yusuf Meher Ali, a tall Congress leader from Bombay. Gandhiji adopted it. It was so catchy, it was translatable into every single Indian language. So was Gandhiji's other mantra, do or die, karo ya maro. The contemporary relevance of Quit India is that India must remain united now that we are free, and as the Prime Minister has rightly pointed out, I congratulate the Prime Minister on this, but I have some questions also. He said that today we should pledge to adopt a new slogan, that is quit communalism, quit casteism, quit corruption. Now, the question is his own party, is the Sangh Parivar going to pay heed to Narendra Modi's call today? And is the Prime Minister himself going to insist on adoption of the Quit India spirit, first by his own party, by his parivar, and the country as a whole?
Now
there is a certain discrepancy, dichotomy between what he is saying
and what his
government and what his party is doing.
Now, what is the discrepancy that you see between what the Prime Minister said in Parliament today and what you believe the party is doing?
The discrepancy, the two main points of discrepancy. One is that let's not forget that Mahatma Gandhi, even though he was leading the freedom movement under the broad umbrella of the Congress party, he never believed that the freedom movement belonged only to the Congress. There is simply no other leader in India's history who reached out to all his ideological and political opponents and tried to forge cooperation amongst all of them. He praised whatever was good in the RSS. He praised whatever was good in the Communist Party. He also praised what was good in Ambedkar. Even though, let's not forget, all of us are talking about the RSS having stayed away from the Quit India movement. Dr. Ambedkar not only stayed away, he opposed and he collaborated with the British. And in spite of this, Mahatma Gandhi reached out to all of them, including Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Muslim League at that time. So one point of discrepancy is that Mahatma Gandhi he believed in inclusiveness, in uniting the whole nation. That is not what we see in the BJP today. The second point of discrepancy is that Mahatma Gandhi believed in the absolute imperative of Hindu-Muslim unity for both freedom and for nation building. Is that what the RSS believes? Is that what the BJP is practicing? Is that what the government of Narendra Modi promoting today?
These are very strong points you are making. These are very strong points you are making, and I think those points need to be debated. But before that, Mridula Mukherjee, the other point that Sudhindra Kulkarni made, that the greatness of Mahatma Gandhi in those years in the Quit India movement, whether it was his ideological opponents like an Ambedkar, whether it was in the case of a Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, at the end of the day, he did reach out to them. When in 1946 a time came to actually reach out to each other, they were able to successfully do that. Today's leaders are unable to do that. I ask you then, Rakesh Sinha, do you believe that today's politics is polarized? That you are divided? Today when I saw Narendra Modi and Sonia Gandhi giving completely alternative visions of the same history. Narendra Modi did not even mention Jawaharlal Nehru. So he doesn't want to even accept that Jawaharlal Nehru had a role to play, an important role to play in that Quit India movement because of his aversion to the Nehru-Gandhi family. And look at what Mahatma Gandhi does. He makes Ambedkar the head of his constitution framing committee. He gets Shyama Prasad Mukherjee in the first cabinet. That's the difference between maybe a Jawaharlal Nehru and a Mahatma Gandhi and Narendra Modi. No. Today's politicians, Sonia Gandhi targets Modi, Modi targets Sonia. That's the nature of our politics. And great people like Jawaharlal Nehru are forgotten.
No, that was a strategic. I have many questions to Jawaharlal Nehru's.
Should the Prime Minister not mention Jawaharlal Nehru today in Parliament?
He was not inclusive.
Now, what is the aversion that you have to Jawaharlal Nehru? Are you going to say Nehru played no role?
Not necessary. Triloknath Chakrabarti spent 30 years in jail. There are thousands. Indian freedom struggle was not the freedom struggle of the Raja and Rajwara. kings and queens. It was the freedom struggle of the masses, Indian masses. Millions of Indian masses participated in the movement. That's why we got the independence. We should avoid the tendency to glorify certain individuals, whosoever
but
may
you
be.
glorified every other individual today in Parliament.
We should have
the Prime Minister glorified every other individual in Parliament but forgot Jawaharlal Nehru.
No,
Why? Why this aversion?
No,
the Quit India movement was inclusive. That's what Sudhindra Kulkarni is saying. Let's build an inclusive India. Let's stop this divide, this polarization, ideological or otherwise.
No, Mr. Kulkarni was part of Bharatiya Janata Party in those days when the highest kind of allegations were leveled against BJP for communal politics.
Yes.
That was the period when the disputed structure in Ayodhya was demolished. Kulkarni was part of that. So I am not discussing the Kulkarni's evolution of his evolution of philosophy, political philosophy. I am discussing the Quit India movement. I have one question, quick question to Mridula Mukherjee. CPI's role during the Quit India movement was pro-British role, and that is evident from Gandhi Joshi letters. PC Joshi wrote Gandhi replied Joshi. There is a correspondence between the two.
What's your question?
And those correspondences unravel how CPI sabotaged the movement. How the CPI sabotaged.
Okay,
My question is that how can the Indian Marxists claim the legacy of the Quit India movement?
Respond to that, Mridula Mukherjee, that have historians ignored what, according to Rakesh Sinha, is the role of the left, which was to, in a sense, oppose Mahatma Gandhi?
Absolutely. You might recall just 10 minutes ago when I answered your first question, I am the one who introduced into this program the fact that the left was not supporting the Quit India movement. So where is the question of trying to hide it? This is a well-known fact. The issue is analyzing the reasons. Just as in the case of the RSS and the Hindu Mahasabha, we try to understand their politics and say, why were they opposing this? Similarly for the left, for historians, the issue is why different political parties and groups take certain positions at certain times. And just as Mr. Kulkarni said, it's not a crime to take certain positions, only you must be able to explain it, and you can even disown it and say that we were wrong then. Just as Ambedkar and Ambedkarites don't try to whitewash today and say that Ambedkar was a fighter against the British, which he was not, but that doesn't diminish his legacy. You know, I think this obsession with trying to steal other people's ancestors, grandfathers, grandmothers, whatever, why not have confidence in your own politics? And if you have moved away from it, if you now think that the politics that you played at that time was wrong, say so openly. And come out and say, this is now our politics. Change your objective from Hindu Rashtra to an Indian Rashtra. Don't just keep on defining Indian and Hindu in this way and that and try to sort of confuse the issue. I think it's open to any political party to rectify itself, to admit its mistakes and come out and say, this is what we are now.
I just want to play what the Prime Minister said once more and then go back. Let's listen into Narendra Modi, because it was a speech which appeared to be, at least certainly in the words he used, very inclusive, giving a vision of how the Quit India movement could be redefined in the 21st century. Listen in once again to Prime Minister Modi. So in a sense, as you said, Sudhindra Kulkarni, the Prime Minister is trying to, in a sense, hark back to the spirit of 42 for a new India. And yet you are skeptical of that. Why do you remain so skeptical? Is it in your case also your unwillingness to accept that maybe Narendra Modi is also trying to reinvent himself for a new India?
You know, I said in my earlier remarks, and I'm going to reiterate, that there are some very positive features, messages in Narendra Modi's speech today, as well as what he said earlier in his Mann Ki Baat broadcast. The coming 5 years can indeed be decisive in India's progress in the same way as the period between 1942 and 47 was decisive in India's freedom struggle. In order to create a new India, a prosperous India, an India that can face and overcome many challenges, the coming 5 years can be truly decisive and similarly successful. But where there is room for skepticism is that the Prime Minister has to re-educate, first of all, his own party and his own Sangh Parivar in what India's freedom movement truly was about.
You were part of that party.
There
I didn't want to say this not too long ago. Sorry to intervene. Mr. Kulkarni, you were part of that party till not too long ago. It almost seems as if the world has changed after 2014 for you. That's what I'm just raising. I mean, do you believe fundamentally the BJP doesn't believe in the idealism of 42?
You know, no, I am saying that there are conflicting features in the Congress, in the BJP.
Yes.
If the BJP believes, as the RSS does, in the ideal, in the final objective of turning India into a Hindu Rashtra, then there is absolutely no common ground between the Quit India spirit, the spirit of India's freedom movement, and Hindu Rashtra. Hindu Rashtra has to be given up completely by the RSS and the Sangh Parivar and the BJP.
Okay.
India has to become inclusive. First of all, communal peace, communal harmony.
Rajdeep.
No discrimination whatsoever on the grounds of religion, on the grounds of ideology. Second point, again I'm reiterating, we need a different kind of politics if we have to create a new India, inclusive India in the next 5 years. And that means politics of cooperation, not politics of confrontation and division.
But that's what's happening.
Not politics of trying to exclude, as you rightly pointed out, Jawaharlal Nehru's contribution to India's freedom struggle and in the making of modern India. All have made mistakes, and at the same time I want to make one final point, very important, that even though there were differences amongst various organizations and individuals who participated in the freedom movement, they differed, sometimes they opposed each other, but they were all patriots. The RSS was a patriotic organization, the communists were patriots, Ambedkarites were patriots. I would say that even the Muslim League in its own way was a patriotic organization. It wanted freedom for India. Partition took place for other reasons.
Yes.
Now we need to reunite India across all political and ideological divisions.
I think that's well put. I'm afraid I've run out of time. I know, Mridula, you wanted to get a word in, but I've run out of time. Yes, you wanted 30 seconds to both you and Rakesh Sinha. Very quickly, Ms. Mukherjee.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I hope, I hope Gandhiji's spirit has touched Narendra Modi. Gandhiji converted many people. Maybe Modi's engagement with Mahatma Gandhi has transformed him. We can always hope for that.
We can always hope that Modi's spirit that Gandhi's spirit has transformed Narendra Modi. We leave it there. Yes, Rakesh Sinha, you deserve 20 seconds as well. Otherwise, you will complain on Twitter that I don't give you enough time. 20 seconds, quickly. Has Modi been touched by the spirit of Gandhi at last? Not Golwalkar, but Gandhi.
Modi is in Sangh Parivar. He is a part of Sangh Parivar. Our philosophy is undiluted, and I am telling you, the Hindu Rashtra is an adjective of the civilizational Indian nation state.
Hindu Rashtra is against the idea of Quit India movement. Gandhi's idea of Quit India movement was inclusive, not exclusive. Gandhi's idea of Quit India
is the most inclusive idea. Hindu Rashtra is the most inclusive idea. This is the only foundational. This is the foundational base of the India's unity. Without Hindu Rashtra, India can't be a cultural nation.
Right.
India is a cultural nation because India is a Hindu Rashtra.
Okay.
Hindu Rashtra,
I am telling
you, there is a difference between adjective and objective.
Okay.
Hindu Rashtra of the civilizational nation state.
Okay, that's where unfortunately the divisions start creeping in, and today is not a day to celebrate divisions, but I think was put well by Sudhindra Kulkarni, a day to celebrate the patriotism of each and every of those great individuals who brought us freedom in the 1940s, irrespective of their ideology. I think that's the way we should be looking at this day. Thank you very much for joining me. My take. The manner in which every party today has sought to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement shows how our contemporary netas seek to appropriate the past in a selective manner. The Congress leadership, with Gandhi, Nehru and Patel at the fore, did lead the Quit India movement, but the Congress of 2017 bears little resemblance to the party of 42. The BJP wants to dress up the contentious issue of the role of the RSS during this period with their own revisionist history. Truth is, Quit India belonged to the people of India, the brave men and women who sacrificed their lives for freedom. And while we must remember the past, the challenge is to rebuild the future. Instead of lavish ceremonies, the best way for our netas to pay homage to Quit India would be to quit corruption and communalism first.